Easter treats are out at the store, the chocolates and all the fun little sweets. Today I'm going to share with you how you can make these cute little Easter baskets that you can fill with Easter eggs or any kind of little chocolates or sweets, and these make great treats to hand out to your family and friends. Let's get into it. For this project, here are the things that you're going to need. So I'm taking some double-sided decorative paper, and what I've done with that, I've got these little bunnies, this bunny die that I'm using to cut out, but you can use any shape that you want. And I'm going to put a link below to a video where I showed, this is one that I used, this bunny, I guess you can see it a little bit better here, using a pattern off of a printable that I had online, and then used it as almost like a stencil and was able to cut out. This bunny would work. It's a little bit longer, but that's going to be fine that you would see. But I'm going to go ahead and use the bunnies that I cut with the die. Then you need a piece of cardstock that is cut at 3.5 by 3 inches. We're going to do some scoring and some trimming of this. And then I've also chosen to use some double-sided tape and also some glue just to have that stability there, and of course some scissors to do some of the trimming. So let's clear off this area, and I'm going to show you the scoring that we're going to do and the trimming for this piece of cardstock. So I have my 3.5 by 3 inch piece of cardstock, and first of all we're just going to start, and on all 4 sides we are going to score it at 1 inch. So I'm using my trimmer to do my scoring, and I'm coming across over here at the 1 inch line. And let's just get the scoring. And your paper should look like this. Along the 3.5 inch, this is the 3.5 inch length here, we're going to trim up on each of these score lines up to that first score line, and do that here on the right hand side as well. Turn it over 180, and on the other side of that 3.5 we're going to trim up on that 1 inch score line. So now let's do some folding on all of our score lines. And I'm using my bone folder to get a really nice crisp fold. We're going to do a little bit more trimming, and I'm going to show you what. Okay, this is the base of our box here in the middle, this rectangle. And it comes out to a dimension of 1.5 by 1 inch. 1.5 by 1 inch. So actually your bunny could have been, it could be any size to fit along this base, but we'll get to that in just a few moments. What we're actually doing to make our rectangular box, we're going to fold these pieces in and then fold up here. And the fold works fine as it is, but to make it just a little bit easier of a fold, I'm going to go in here and trim a little bit of an angle off of this, the little piece, the 1 inch piece that we've cut apart, to make the fold in just a little bit easier. We're going to do that on all 4 of those. Just a little bit of an angle, trim that off. We don't want to get the main box piece because that's going to show up on the outside. Okay, so again, this is going to fold in, and I'm putting the solid piece on the outside. So when we fold like that, we can see we're going to need tape here where my fingers are holding these outside edges. So this is how my box is going to be, but I'm going to flip it over, and I want to place tape here, 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 and here. Again, this is how we'll fold in, and it will tape and glue down to the side. I'm going to use my 2-sided sticky tape along the top portions here. And then I'm also going to use a little bit of glue. The tape will help this to set up while the glue is getting ready or is drying. Now let's just take off this lining for our tape. And like I said, I'm also going to use the glue. I think that just helps us to have a sturdier box overall. And so I'm going to go ahead and apply. I use this Tombow Clear. And then we're going to fold these in. We want to make our 90-degree corner. So line up corner to corner. And just press. And when we get all 4 in, and you do have a little bit of an overlap from those corners that we've got, but I think that just helps to make your box even sturdier. So we're gonna squeeze those a little bit and give them a little time to set. That's where our tape comes into play and will help us out until our glue completely dries. But there's our little box. Now I've decided to use this side of my bunnies as what's going to be on the outside of the box visible. And I've also taken some twine and I'm going to just wrap the twine here. And let's put a little bow around the bunny's neck. I may have too much, we'll trim that off. But let's just make a little bow here. And let's just trim this off a little bit. And we've got one little bunny with his ribbon, and we'll put it on the second as well. Another thing to keep in mind as you're trimming out your bunnies is that you will want to do your bunnies, cut them in opposite directions. Here they're looking at each other. And the reason, if you want to put these, I'm going to attach these so that they are looking the same way, the same direction. So when you cut your bunnies out, make sure you flip your paper over. If you're using a cutting die, you would cut it out opposite colors, or if you're using your stencil, whatever it is. But that's just a little reminder. So I am going to place the bunnies right here on the longer end of the box. And my bunny takes up most of that space, so I'm going to just put some glue here. And I want it to not go much I don't want it to go further down than the box, because I want the box bottom to be, I want the box to be able to sit on the table or wherever you're placing this evenly. And there, we've got that. We'll let that dry. And this is how our little container with our 2 little bunnies looks. And it is ready for some candy. So I'm placing the little Easter egg chocolates in my little container. It's perfect for 2 or 3 little pieces of candy. And this makes a cute little treat. You can use these as place cards. You could add names to this. But it's always a fun thing to have, a cute little Easter treat. Have fun making your Easter treats. Now make sure and look for the next video that's coming up. I'm going to be showing you some more ways that you can give your little Easter treats a little extra something.